Good morning. My name is Crystal Kelly, and this is my database systems final project. As you can see on the right, my backend is running in a terminal, as well as my front end, so I am running this locally. And on the left, you can see my landing page. There is a login option, as well as a sign up option, and you can see public events being displayed. So before we sign up, we can first select database and then show the current users. And let's make a new person. Oh, it has a nice menu, by the way. She's a F. Cool. And if we refresh, we can see that she has been added to the database. And we can successfully sign in. So from the student dashboard at Florida Tech University, you can look at upcoming events, request new RSOs, and current RSOs. And you can log out. For the events, public events are displayed on the homepage because they're public for everyone. And request new RSO. This, I have an issue with this one, and I can explain in the end why, but you want to make a new event club. So it loads an error, fail to submit request, and Axios error 415 bad request. So my theory behind this, I also when I tried to solve it, I saw cores. I am allowing uh, I'm allowing all of oh wait, that's the wrong one config. I'm allowing data from core 3000 where my app is running from in, so it's not a cores error. I think if anything, it's RSO in the controller because the backend where the request happens, request new RSO. I think maybe this one isn't aligning with the front end. Either the path isn't correct or the expected data isn't matching up exactly in terms of whether sending is a body or as params. That's the most common error that I can think of. That's the back end, this is the front end, and this is where I send it. So maybe I don't think there's a typo, I would get an error, but yeah, I think that's where the problem is derived from. But we can insert a new RSO. Um, I can insert, I can insert these new RSOs into my database. And if I go to, oh, RSO. If I go here, you can see that women in computing and sustainable has shown up. So women in computing showed up, and the reason why I believe, oh, it's for a different university. Yeah, university ID is one, and that's the one we're logged into. So that it's my backend successfully creates a new RSO, and the student can join it. And I had it shown initially in the edits. It doesn't show the current members, but I have a table called student RSO that shows the user ID and all of the RSOs. And since session tracking is a thing, I can look at the cookies and see this user's ID. Her ID is, her university ID is 1 and user ID is 17, so we can see that it has been added to RSO4, which is Women in Computing. And RSO4 also, well, she's the first one because, yeah, she's the first one who joined because I did it manually. Um, but when the app does work, her ID would turn into an admin, and then she would be the first member by default, and anyone else who joins a subsequent member. I did get it working on an earlier version, but with updates, that functionality isn't as clear right now. The next thing I can do is she can leave as well. So if she leaves the RSO, then she leaves successfully, and the database shows that she left. So I'll make her join again. Um, I can log in as another user from FTU and log out and log in as another user from FTU. And that should be, yeah, women in computing is not selected, but cyber club is. But this member from the same university also has access to the current RSOs and the events as well. If I log in with someone from SCI, the dashboard looks the same, but you can see that there's a private event that only a student from SCI would be able to see, and they only have access to these because in the events table that their university ID matches that. So yeah, the events were created successfully and they show up as well. And if I update the table, the student would be added. And this is Grace. So if we log in as Frank, then his sustainable future shouldn't be selected. So we can see that each user is independent, so to speak. And if he leaves Eco, the event for Eco should disappear, I believe. That's associated. No, that's not associated with an RSO, so that won't uh, that won't do. But I can do that instead of private. I can change that to RSO, update event set. Um, yeah, let's select everything from event first, and then set update event set the visibility equal RSO. Actually, let's do one thing at a time. Where event ID is, what is this? Tree planting 3. Oh, okay. But I'm trying to show. Actually, if I trying to show that. Okay, so tech RSO. So let's look at the student table for one that already exists. Um, Intro to robotics. Okay, but I was trying to show that for an Arsenal event, it will be able to uh, we'll be able to see the event. Um, yeah, it displays for RSOs as well, but I didn't make an event with an RSO, so it can't. That's one thing. The next thing I want to do is I didn't implement the comments. In order to implement the comments, I would have to have a component for the comment form like I do for the request RSO form. I would make a new file called maybe make component. Then in the pages, I would have to import that. Let's say in the student dashboard, I would have to import it here underneath the request. This is super. Underneath the request here. So I'd put the comment form right there and rating for the event. The other thing that I think let me log in as an admin and then a super admin. An admin. So you can see the event and the RSO. So it has already been approved. Well, this didn't work as well for the approval, but once I set it in the database to one or approval of one, then that works for the event ID for the RSO. Um, yeah, so approve set to one, then it would be approved. Can create a new event. Dinner 2026. It's gonna be a social. Visibility is RSO. Okay, let's set this visibility to an RSO. Oh, this user isn't associated with an RSO. Okay, so let's just set it to private or public, actually, and the location will be the main hall and the event. Oh, so the event didn't work. It worked. I'm sorry, it worked in an earlier version, but updates broke it. So let's just make an event. Hopefully, it follows the constraints of my database. Okay, cool. You can see the new events added. And I believe Green Tech was Expo was added. Yeah. RSO. And then the super show the super dashboard. So pending approvals, I don't think, I think my updates crashed the front end pretty much. Yeah, it crashed the front end. So I set this to approve manually, and you see that it goes away. Um, yeah, I think that also if you try to access a different user, it defaults you to log in. Um, it's pretty much it. The problem why my front end broke was because I had a working version. The back end successfully create sorry, the back end successfully executes all routes like creating an event, RSO, everything, every function associated with it. And if I manually change values in a database, that fixes it as well. But I had a bare structure for the front end that worked and integrated fully with the back end. But when I added the Bootstrap functioning, it kind of broke the integration. So the back end works. It's just issues with the front end integration that caused all of the errors not working. And had I started earlier, I would have had more time to debug. But this is like right now. So yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out. I'll be happy to answer. I did the project myself, so I'll be able to answer like anything or explain anything in the code. Oh, one more thing. So to create the table, these are example inputs, but the actual schema, this is my script to be able to make my tables. To repopulate it, I just drop the campus database and I add these tables to it. I didn't include the comments because again I didn't get to the comments, but this is my script. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.